Hey y'all, welcome to Sam's Whiskey Bar. I'm Mr. Sam, and I'm glad you joined me tonight. Tonight, I'm doing a little experiment. I'm trying to learn how to edit, and the point of the video is to find an easy drinking wheated bourbon or whiskey that relates to a Weller Reserve that is harder to find and quite frankly probably not the most easy drinking as I found out in this video. So, if you would come along with me on this little tasting journey and sit back and enjoy yourself and make fun of me trying to figure out what's what, come on, let's do it. What I've got in front of me here is kind of something I did on my own. Finally found this bottle of Weller, what I grew up knowing as W.L. Weller, which is like William LaRue Weller. If my memory serves me right, they kind of hooked up with the Pappy people and merged, put out some great products. I mean, who doesn't want a bottle of Pappy on their shelf? I don't even know what the stuff tastes like, but I want it. I'm starting to find this special reserve quite a lot now, and it's not always on the shelf, but 4 or 5 times a year, there's a lot of it on the shelf. So this is one of those whiskeys that you probably ought to think about bunkering. Um, I had a bunker, used my big bottle of Weller for a bunch of these blends back here, like a lot of my stuff. It's all in the name of science, right? What I've got here are my other wheated bourbons, or some of my other wheated bourbons that are close. I mean, or different palate, or a different option when you can't find the Weller Reserve. Obviously, hard to find any of the Wellers. I was lucky to get the Antique 107. Was at a store when a shipment showed up, and not a typical store I'm at. And I was like, "Can I have that? That's in that box right there that your guy just?" She was like, "Sure." And MSRP, and there was a bottle of Blanton's in there, $65. Got that one too. So right place, right time. Just got lucky, and that's a lot of it. Early bird gets the worm type of stuff. It was 9 a.m. So what I had my beautiful wife do is come down here and pour these 4 bottles in whatever order she wanted to put them in here, and put it in my little mad scientist book. I don't know what this is sitting in front of me. We've got 1 through 4, and I'm just going to go ahead and do a blind on these real quick while my boys edit the last video. Need a little time to kill, and only had a few drinks tonight with very little, and quite frankly, I want to have a couple more drinks. So I came up with this on a whim just to do a little blind, see how it works out, and see how well I know my wheated whiskeys, which honestly, I don't go to them that often. So especially this one, I barely had this one. This Larceny 92 I got a week ago so I could mix it to make Prudent Pappy. Maker, gotta have maker, and I put just the regular maker in so it'd be more of an even playing field here. I'm not going to throw a 101 or a 46 or a cask strength or anything like that and skew it towards the makers, because it would skew it towards the makers. But I believe this is 90, is that right? 90? I think this is 92. That one's 90. This is 92. I know that. And I want to say this one's a little less. I could be wrong. This is a 7-year 90. So we're all right there. Very, very. I don't know this one. I was at a liquor store in Wichita, Kansas, and they had Buffalo Trace in the back. And I've had this bottle for a year, and it's gone this much. But he said, "I'll get you a bottle of Buffalo Trace if you let me pick out a bottle for you to buy as well." And I said, "Okay, depending on the price of the bottle." Got this dude for $35. This one for 30. This one for a little over 30. I can't remember what this was, but I want to say it was in the 20s when I picked it up. So very reasonable priced wheated whiskeys. So basically what they've done is they just take one of the grains out of the mash bill, which I believe is probably the rye, to put the wheat in just to make a smoother, softer, more drinkable whiskey. And supposedly this guy's the father of that. He created it. Supposedly, W.L. Weller invented the weeded whiskey, bourbon, whatever. So before we do anything else, more talking, I want to drink these whiskeys, so let's do it. I'm going to start out with one, and I'm just going to nose them all first before I even mess with drinking them. All very soft. These two are soft on the nose, anyways. I'm sure the others will be. Not even a touch of ethanol. Maybe a little bread. I might have got a little bread on that one. And they all smell good, but most of them smell good except for a couple crappers I got right back here. Man, that's good smell. That one smelled a little bit like a Buffalo Trace product right there, I ain't gonna lie. It could be all wet. I got a little banana on this one. The first time I got heavy banana was probably an Old Forester. Don't remember which one it was. And then the Jack Daniel's Bonded came out this year. And before any reviews or anything, I got that sucker from my Premier Liquor store, cracked that dude open, and even the neck pour was nothing but banana bread, man. It was awesome. And I said at that point, almost a year ago, this dude for a Jack Daniel's is going to do well. And I'm getting that banana off here, not so much the bread, which is weird with the weed. I thought I'd get it. If I'm getting a little banana, very fruit forward on that one. That's. Like I said, I don't have too much experience with one of these two, so I'm betting it's one of these two. These two, they're not very familiar. These two are familiar. Dang. Now that one smells like the freaking Weller to me. Okay. This one is definitely my number one. Number one's my number one right now off the nose. I don't like this one that much. I'm not getting much off of it. Now that smells like Weller again. Dang it. That is my number two, though. I did like this nose better. The sweetness, how it can kind of change a little bit when you go back to it and right after it, and it just kind of varies a little bit. I really enjoy the complexity in that nose right there. I'm going to say this is my last place. On the nose, I'm opening the book. I'm going to open it to a page that doesn't have any writing on it. I'm not cheating here. I'm going to get them all wrong anyways. But all right, let's down. I really don't want to mess up this mouth with any of the others, so I'm going to go ahead and go to it first because I'm kind of excited to drink this one. Hitting pretty oaky and heavy in the mid palate and finish, oak on the finish. Plenty sweet on the tongue all the way through. Got a little more barrel tannin than I thought it would have. It kind of tastes like an older whiskey, which lends to the Bernheim being a 7-year. I don't know what the other age statements are or if they even put them on there. Well, 2 tastes better than it smells. It's got more tannin on the tongue. It's like not really oaky, but you get that numb tannin on the tongue. Yeah, you get the oak, but the tannin is there too, like heavier than the first one. Second. I might have been wrong on the nose. Damn, that's good bourbon. I took a big drink of that. That's good. There's not as much tannin on the end. That dude's crushable right there. That dude right there, you could put a straw in and sip on all day long. And before you knew it, you'd be asleep. Good tongue. That's got a lot more sweet to it. I don't think I liked the nose on that one, did I? No, that one got last place. The nose ain't that great, but the palate is phenomenal. Okay, I'm going to have to quit BSing. That number 2 is way hotter than I thought it would be. That's surprising for a weeded bourbon. Quite honestly, they're all very similar on the palate and subtle differences on the nose, really lending to more of a stronger nose to a more subtle nose. As a quick blind, this one was the front runner for me from the get-go. And I tend to like these two because of how hot and how long the bang for the buck, how long they stay. That's typically what I would prefer. However, I did like this one better and it was smoother. For me, as a bourbon drinker, at a high proof bourbon drinker, I'm tempted to move these forward, but I know what I'm judging here. So I'm judging it based on the category and not my personal preference, which is a wheated, smoother bourbon, what the category was intended to provide. Number one on palate. Number four on taste is number two. And it was last on nose. So that one really surprised me. The nose did not transfer to the palate. Number three is in third place and was second on the nose. Number two is in last place and it was third on the nose. So number four, obviously a dark horse coming off the nose to the palate. So let's go ahead and see what the best part of my life wrote down here. Number one is Larceny. Holy crap. Holy crap. Number one is Larceny. I would have never guessed that in a million years that Larceny would have got number one out of those. Holy crap. Number two was Bernheim, the 7-year. Now, granted, this is the one I liked. It was hot. There was a lot to it, but it just doesn't fall in the what I'm trying to compare it to right here. I knew this was Weller. I did. I knew it. I was kind of 1 and 2, Weller and Larceny. I was like, which one is Weller? I was pretty sure this one was Weller. It was confusing me a lot. And that one had a longer finish, more like a tannin, like an aged. I really, really like that one. And number two ends up being Makers. So this is the order 1, 2, 3, 4. But this, in this taste test, for a smooth drinking, you're looking for something to introduce to somebody who's looking for a wheated bourbon, so it's a little easier to drink. From my palate, and it varies, but my palate, this is 1, 2, 3, and 4. Yeah. Surprised me too. Catch you guys next time. Come back and see me. Appreciate you guys. Got my boys back here now. Both of them. That was weird having you guys walk down while I was